In the last video, we looked at filtering data. If we've got a list of data and we click anywhere on that list, we can select data, filter, auto filter, filter. For example, if we want to find all the people who are 30, we select 30 from the age, and there's the people of 30. What I didn't mention in the last video is that you can do calculations on that filtered data set. So I've got a sum at the bottom of my filtered data. The answer changes depending on what we've filtered out. So you can do calculations based on your data. Advanced filters. With advanced filters, what we do is set up a criteria range that allows us to type criteria into these boxes, and the data would then be filtered. Now, it's standard to put your criteria range above your actual data, but there's no need. It doesn't have to go there. It can go anywhere in your spreadsheet. It just makes it nice and easy to see that if you've got a set of data, all you need to do is create some space above it, add in the titles of your data, and that gives you your criteria range to work with. Okay, so let's see how this works. If we want to find all the people that are older than 50, for example, then on the age criteria range, we can put in greater than 50. We now need to create the advanced filter. And we do that by clicking somewhere on your data set, and then data menu, drop down to filter, and across to advanced filter. And that gives us this dialog box. And you'll notice that because we had one cell selected in our list of data, Excel has automatically picked up as the list range all the data, and it's put the cell references in there for us. If we hadn't done that, then we could simply collapse the dialog box and select the data in the normal way. So what we're going to be doing here on our advanced filter dialog box is filter the list in place. We've automatically picked up where the cells that contain the data are. What we then need to do is specify the criteria range. We'll collapse the dialog box. The criteria range is this area at the above that we have set up. What's the easiest thing to do is just select all the titles and the 1 or 2 rows beneath it. It only needs to be the actual data, but sometimes people like to select a bit more to be on the safe side. I think you should just understand what you're doing. You need to select the titles and the cells where your criteria are. We then expand up the dialog box and click on OK. So what then has happened is the data set has been filtered and will now only show everybody that is over 50 years old. Unfortunately, an advanced filter is not dynamic. So if I was to change that to less than 50, my list doesn't change. I need to click a cell on the data, do data, filter, advanced filter again, and go through the process. Filter the list in place, make sure you've got the correct cell selected, tell it where your criteria are. There's this cell set here, A1 to E2, expand up and OK. And that's now showing me everybody who's less than 50. Okay, so that's not brilliant as it is. We could do that with the auto filter. So just show that we can expand this a little bit now and go a little bit further. We could say, let's find all the people who are in Durham that are less than 50 years old. Select the list, data, filter, advanced filter. It's picked up the list of data. We're filtering in place again. And that just means that the data is left where it is. The criteria range, A1 to E2. Click on OK. And it's filtered down and it's now just showing us Durham, who are less than 50. But again, because we can define the size of this criteria range, we don't just have to have one row. We can set up additional filters. So let's, for example, look for people in Newcastle also. So we can type Newcastle into our criteria range, and let's repeat the process. Click on the data, select data, filter, advanced filter. Make sure it's picked up the list range. The criteria range now, I'm just going to collapse it down. The criteria range is currently A1 to E2. A1 to E2. It's missing Newcastle. So I need to change this. I can do that just by simply clicking and dragging to make sure I'm picking up all the criteria. So I'm now doing A1 to E3. Expand the dialog box, click on OK, and it's now showing us everybody who lives in Durham who's less than 50 and everybody who lives in Newcastle. But just look carefully. What have we actually got in our data? We've got everybody who lives in Newcastle, regardless of age, and everybody who lives in Durham who are less than 50. So the ones in Durham are younger than 50. This is quite important. If we wanted to show everybody who was in Durham who was less than 50 and everybody who lives in Newcastle who is less than 50, we've got to make sure we add that criteria in on every line. So this will find less than 50 in Durham, less than 50 in Newcastle. Let's try it. Select the cell, data, filter, advanced filter, filter the list in place. Make sure you've picked up the correct data set, the criteria range. Make sure that you're picking up both sets, A1 to E3. Click on OK. And there we have only people who live in either Newcastle or Durham who are less than 50 years old. What you can also do on your data with select data, filter, show all, removes the filtering from your data set. I want to find now everybody who is older than 90. So my age I'm going to do greater than 90. I'm going to do a filter, data, filter, advanced filter. This time I don't want to filter in place. I want to copy that data somewhere else. I want to copy it to another location. Make sure we've picked up the correct data. We have. Check our criteria range. Collapse it down. Check it out. I'm picking up A1 to E3. A1 to E3. That more than covers it. That's absolutely fine. A1 to E3 covers all our titles and covers all our criteria range. I'm happy with you just leaving it at that, but just be aware that you don't actually have to. You only need to select the columns with the data in. For example, because I'm only filtering on age and greater than 90, I can just select that and just have that as my criteria range. Expand up. Now the next new thing I'm going to show you is that we're copying to a new location. So we have to say where to. So we collapse down the dialog box and tell it where we want to paste that data to. I'm going to select cell H9. Expand it up. Click on OK. And you should be able to see what's happened. We've looked here for people older than 90. Here is a subset of the data for people who are older than 90. It's just data. It hasn't taken it from the original data set. It's made a copy of it. So that can be really quite useful. And when we use this copy to a new location, we don't actually have to take all the data. Let me just delete that. What do I mean? Let's say, for example, we only want to know the surname of the people that are older than 90. Let's make that red so we can see it. Say we just want the surname. And what we can do, if we put the title there, select the data, data, filter, advanced filter. Make sure you've picked up the correct list of data. Select copy to another location. Check your criteria range. Where do we want to copy it to? Collapse that down. I want to copy it starting in cell H10. That's where my title is. Now when I expand this up and click on OK, this advanced filter will just return the names of the people who are older than 50. But we can pick up more than one field. Let's also pick up the town that these people live in. Okay, let's try this. Click on the data, data, filter, advanced filter. Copy to another location. Make sure it's picked up the data cells correctly. Make sure it's picked up the criteria range correctly. D1 to D2. Where do we want to copy to? Now this time we're going to select both of those cells as our starting points. Expand up, click on OK, and it's brought across the names and the location of everybody who meets this criteria. So that's advanced filters.